stories that connect us to ourselves and each other. These stories reveal who we are and show us the many vivid, wild colors of our truth. Welcome to Soul Wanderings, where we raise spiritual awareness and foster connections through these shared stories and personal experiences. And now, exclusively on KGRA Radio, I give you your host for Soul Wanderings Radio. Here's AJ.
Happy day, friend. It is Soul Wanderings night. We have the opportunity to hear journey stories from humans from all walks of life, all types of experiences. And these humans show up to share authentic pieces of themselves with all of us. I am AJ Rasmussen, your host. Hello, hello, hello. Can you tell I'm happy to be here with you once again? It's always my favorite night of the week. By now, I think you all know that we get a visit each month from our beloved Misty Rose Merck. Tonight is that night. Phone lines are open and ready just after the first break for intuitive readings from Misty Rose. Misty receives information spiritually and intuitively, and that information is received as thoughts, feelings, emotions, pictures, images, and angels. And I have shared before that my favorite way to receive a reading from Misty is to be ready with an open heart and an open mind and allow her to share with you whatever it is that is meant to be shared with you at this time. But also, you may have a question. That works also. However, just be aware and open that messages come through as they are meant for you in that moment. It may not always be the answer or answers that you're seeking, but be open and ready for any outcome. And most of all, enjoy the moments that you have with her. Either way, if you decide to call in or not, I'm a believer, like I've said always, that the messages that are shared throughout the evening are good for all of us. They're good for everyone to hear. You can learn a little something from every message that someone receives. So pay close attention. Messages are always waiting for you. All right, Wanderers, if you decide you want to call in, the number you'll be calling in for that gifted mini reading with Misty is 85-KGRA Live. So that's 855-472-5483. And you can also find the number directly on kgraradio.com. If you missed it, I'll be sure to repeat the number throughout the show. And remember, we'll be opening those phone lines just after the first break. Until then, let's visit with our guest tonight, Misty Rose Merck. Welcome back, darling.
Hello.
I'm so happy when you are here.
I'm always happy to see you. I'm always excited to be here. I love what I get to do when I'm here, which is to reach out and help people that, quite honestly, I don't know if I'd have the opportunity any other way.
Really? You really feel that way? Because you're such an amazing energy, and I really believe that one way or another, the messages that you have to share would be shared. One way or another. One way or another. And I won't sing because I really am bad at it.
No, you're not. You're really
But
great
it's a fantastic song.
Yes, it is.
It makes me want to dance every time I hear it.
Yeah. No, it's not that I don't have a lot of opportunities. I do. From working in your store to sitting at a booth at different events, to traveling and meeting people in different places. So I've spoken to a lot of people from, places throughout the U.S. to places throughout the world. But this is just a different avenue. It's just another way of meeting people that I might not meet in person. A lot of times I read strangers in public and I never see them again. It's just that one moment and they were willing and ready to receive, and and they were grateful, and I was privileged.
That is really neat that you do share with people that you come across, that you have that urge or nudge or whatever that looks and feels like for you to do that. My experience that happened to me, it was some time ago, 6-7 years ago, maybe not that long, either way. I have intuitive abilities on a limited scale. I haven't really strengthened that muscle as of yet. So I've had things that have, that I've thought about or have come into my awareness that have happened or whatever that looks like. But I had never really sat with a reader per se and hadn't had that experience. And one day I was shopping at Michael's. They don't sponsor me, but they ought to because I spend a lot of money there. I have a thing for crafts and art. Okay. So I was there and I had a lady come up to me, a psychic medium, come to find out towards the end of the conversation. And she had shared some message with me that was just mind blowing because of what I was doing in the moment, the thoughts I was thinking. What she shared with me were answers to this stress that I had going on in my heart, in my mind. And then she told me that my grandma was there and presented me these yellow roses, and yellow roses were my grandma's favorite. And anyway, there's a whole experience that I had there, and I'll never, ever, ever forget it. It opened my mind to like, wow, this really is a thing. So what I was thinking and feeling and the signs and messages I was receiving are legit. I'm not crazy. And I was in so much gratitude for that information that she shared with me. It made me just made me all sorts of emotions. I can't even come up with it. I was a hot mess. Like I was literally crying in the Michael's craft aisle in the floral department area, having a moment, but I'll never ever forget it. So when you say you just randomly talk to people, I know you do it at Vibes, but I didn't know you did it like at grocery stores and things like that.
Oh,
but
it's everywhere. And
I love that, Misty. I really do. I appreciate you so much for doing that because we all need to hear messages. I really believe that.
It's really funny growing up, having unique experiences, not wanting to be different, and definitely not wanting to be crazy, trying to come to terms with the experiences, make sense of it. And it was through an undiagnosed illness, that in trying to find answers for myself, that I learned about energy work.
Mm-hmm.
And from energy work, started learning about intuition and messages,
Mm-hmm.
and realizing that that was actually something that had been happening in my life. Like, I would
You just were not aware of what it was?
I wasn't aware, and it wasn't the same as it is now. There weren't like straight these big messages or content or however it was just feeling to talk to this specific person and pay them a compliment. And then later that person telling my mother how they needed to, they were feeling off, and it just made them feel so much better.
Mm-hmm.
Or, talking to a stranger and them just being able to talk about things. I mean, it just wasn't what it is now. And then one day I was in the grocery store, and it's not like the way we hear each other's words, but I very clearly felt a message of talk to that person down there at the end of the aisle. And I looked up at the ceiling, and then I looked at the box of food in front of me, and I'm like, no, they're going to think I'm nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily in our country, because I've been someplace where it's not so normal to just start a conversation with a stranger, I walked by them and struck up a conversation, and then I slipped it into the conversation, and then I waited for the world to end and them to yell and scream and run away, and it didn't happen. In fact, they were like, oh, wow, I needed to hear that. And then, it just kind of started from there. The women's bathroom, the parking lot, the grocery store, and
in all the places.
in all the places. And my husband, it got to the point where he does this thing. I start talking to somebody. He wants to give them space. So he walks around the store in like a little perimeter in a circle, and he spirals out, looks at stuff, spirals in, checks on me, spirals out, looks at stuff. And he goes, I always know when you're about done because they're crying.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, well, I'm not making anybody cry. They're doing that all on their own. I have nothing to do with the crying part. But I do. A lot of times I never see them again. I don't know if it helped them. And however, some people have made an effort to reach out to me. Like if I've been at an event and I've had somebody bring me a thank you card, and they wrote something inside just expressing great gratitude and how much it's benefited them. And I had one woman, she didn't find me right away. We met again a year or two later. And in her blog, she went and blogged about the experience and how much it meant and how accurate everything was. And, I've gotten little gifts like a flower or a feather that's it's carved like a feather on one side and then a little picture on the other side. I keep them all, because there are days when I question if I should be doing this. I still second guess myself if I should try to speak to somebody. One day I was at a store and I was getting ready to get in my car. There was this woman and I thought she was getting ready to leave. So I'm like, no, I'm not going to. I get in my car. She goes into the store and it's like, okay, fine. I go in the store. She's talking to a clerk and I'm standing there trying to look like I'm looking at things on the shelf, and they are just in an in-depth conversation. And I'm like, nope, that's it. I walk out of the store, looked up at the sky, and I said, please don't penalize her for my still being a big chicken. I'm still a big chicken. But don't make her suffer. Send somebody who can give her what she needs. The very next day, I'm not lying, I walked into a totally different store and I turned a corner and there she was.
No way.
No way. Yeah, I looked at the ceiling and I just hung my head and I said, okay, fine. So I walked up to her and I told her that I had seen her the day before and I didn't. And she's like, I needed to hear this.
Aww.
So, even now I still have my moments. I still, that wall of self-doubt that happens with any number of things that we
human,
do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It could be going to speak in public. It could be going to, your job and something that's not normal. It's a new thing for you. It could be starting a new class, a new activity, any number of things. We have all kinds of self-doubt. And a wall of thoughts and emotions show up, and we have to choose to walk through it. There's a quote by Will Smith. I was listening to him talk, and he talked about going skydiving. And he talked about all this fear up until the point of the skydive. And then he said when they went to do the action, afterwards, there's no fear. The fear is leading up to it.
Yeah. There's
an Olympic athlete, I think she's a skier or a snowboarder, and she says fear is just excitement. And so I can't remember how she said it, but basically she said fear is really a different expression of excitement. There's a quote that I like that fear is excitement without breath. So if you breathe through the fear, it can be excitement instead. And, I just, I try and work with that brain, when it's on the negative runaway train, and just have different conversations with it. I use different techniques and stuff to get myself to move past that wall. And once I get to talking, me, I love talking.
No, you don't. Say it isn't so.
And so, once I start talking, then it's all over. But it's that initial conversation when they're a stranger, even people that I know, even people that I have relationships with. There are moments when I might hesitate.
Why? What's the hesitation? Is it because it's a personal interaction, or the message you're about to deliver is going to be challenging to hear, or what's the
I think
reason?
that's multifaceted.
Yeah, it depends on the situation.
It depends, because you're right. Sometimes it's like I don't know how they'll feel about that, or I have had an experience where I had a relationship with a mentor, and it had a friendship about it, and she'd let me share many times. And this one particular day, I'm going to say I wasn't in my best energy. I was into my best energy, and I went and shared something that apparently upset her, and she ended the relationship. So, and I look at it as what she has helped me learn is to be more mindful. Be mindful of my energy when I'm engaging with people, especially in regards to things that could be very heartfelt, right, or a heart matter for them. Because sometimes, we're not able to respond, we react.
Right.
And it can cause pain. So,
well, like with anything, any of our experiences, we learn. We learn from choices that we make, good or bad, or whatever label you'd like to put on that. Unfortunately, the loss of a friend because of something that you meant to come from a heart-centered space, and having that friendship end is really a bummer. I'm very sorry about that.
Yeah, it stunk. But at the same time, I was taking some of her mentoring programs, and I'd been through them, and I was lingering, and I had felt a feeling to move on. We find different teachers at different times, and I felt that I had been there, and then I had felt a prompting to move to that next step, and I was resisting. So is it interesting that I helped create an experience where, okay, kid, if you're not going to leave willingly, we'll just kick you out.
Isn't it funny?
Kick the bird right out of the nest. You got to fly. So I have both sorrow and gratitude. It's a bittersweet kind of thing.
I could see how it would be. With any experience that we have, I think you could look at both sides of the coin.
And I try
to. It's all about your perception and the way you choose to look at the experience, no doubt.
Yeah, and that's something that I push myself to do, because I'm so emotionally sensitive that I could take a lot of things so personal so quickly. Yeah. And that's how I grew up, which meant that I was isolating myself and not motivating myself to go and take risks and do things. And fear controlled me in a big way. It drove a lot of the decisions of my life. Yeah. It's
neat how I think it's neat. I'm very thankful for the conditioning that I had because of the experiences, honestly, because if anyone has heard any part of my journey story, looking back, you always can look at it as like a victim mentality. Like, poor me, I've had to do that. I think we all have, no matter where we're at in our journey.
I lived there, though. It was a great space to live in, because if you're a victim, nothing is ever your fault.
Right. It's everyone else's fault. And that is a tough lesson to get through also. But where I was headed with that is now coming to a place where I've done a ton of healing. Obviously, I'm not done. No one's ever done. But I've done a lot of inner work, a lot of work. I am in so much gratitude for the experiences I had and the forgiveness that I've been able to experience towards humans who have made bad choices that involved me. And it's just really neat to be in that place, knowing that I wasn't in that place before, and my life could be very different today than it is now if I had not gone through the healing journey that I've been on and that I'm still currently going on.
Yeah, it's a lot of things. One is hurt people hurt people.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard to step out of that energy, and everything's energy, and we live and create from levels of energy. And when you're sunk, it's hard not to send out sinkers.
Right.
And, another thing that my philosophy and what I share with other people, especially when I do coaching and stuff, is experience gives you experience. And that experience gives you an authenticity, an authentic voice. We can learn anything from anybody who has things to share, but we most effectively learn from people who've been there and done it rather than just the ones who are teaching from the books they learned from. Authenticity is a more effective teacher and more believable. And when you have authenticity, it moves from you're sharing nice words to messages of hope and possibility.
Right.
And it's a totally different energy to be.
It is.
A different platform to speak from.
I always say that authenticity is my love language. Like if I can have a conversation with someone who is being authentic, I'm all about it. All about it. No matter what that looks like. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
I really am appreciative for that. I'm surrounded by a lot of authentic humans. You're one of them.
Thank you. I try. I mean, again, another personal philosophy is if I'm not saying and doing what I know to be right and true in my heart, it's only in an attempt to control or influence someone or something outside of myself for my own desired outcome. That's not love. That's called control and manipulation.
Right.
So in order, in my opinion, to really love somebody is to give them a choice. And the only way you can give a real choice is by being yourself. If you're anything less than being yourself, that's a manipulation for a desired outcome. Why else would we change, how we present? It's to get a different response than the one we're afraid to get. So, I mean, literally ask questions like when I go in my closet, am I wearing it because I want to wear it or am I wearing it because I want an outcome? I mean,
how many of us do that?
It's everything.
Right.
It's the way you do your hair. It's the way you speak. It's the way you stand. It's, how we engage with everything from ourselves to the whole world. Because the first relationship we have is ourselves, and we're often the person we manipulate, control, and lie to the most.
Isn't that the truth? And I've heard you share these things before, and every time I hear them, I'm like, yes, 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 because it's so true to me every time I hear you say it. And the thing about the manipulation of ourselves, we as humans are so good at being bad to ourselves.
Yes, we are. Learned behavior.
Yes.
Have you ever seen a baby that was born hating itself?
Oh, absolutely not.
They're in love.
No.
They're in love to the point that they're fascinated with their own poop.
Yeah, they love everything.
They love
everything about themselves. I love how they look at their hands.
Oh, yeah.
And their feet, and they're in just such awe, and everything is just so amazing. Yeah. Unless they're hungry or whatever. But.
Yeah, self-love is an innate, natural, normal way of being. Lack of self-love is a learned, twisted, misdirected behavior.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really neat when you become in awareness of your thoughts and how you begin to speak to yourself. When I'm around people, because it's a thing at Vibes, we're around people who come in all different ways, in all different states of being. But I especially love when they initially come in and they're a little lower vibration, a little darker, a little heavier, whatever that is, and then watch their progression as they learn to love themselves again. It is the neatest thing to witness through weeks or months or years. I mean, we've had people there from the beginning, and it's just so exciting to me when they come in and they share, and I know where they've been and I know where they're going because that light is on now and they see it and they feel it. It's just such goodness.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really is.
It is. I mean,
And
it's
a
the
lot of that,
difference.
I know I keep saying it's you, Misty, but in all honesty, you're a big part of that. You do readings at Vibes a couple of times a month, and people walk out of there in a different space than they went in. Or like even today, I had someone who was at your reading last week going on and on about how amazing it was and how much fun it was to watch you interact with the others and how she got a little something from everything. And it's just, I love hearing this stuff because light bulbs are going off everywhere and it's really neat. And now we get to do it here on Soul Wanderings because it's break time. And when we get back, you guys take down this number, 85KGRA Live. That's 855-472-5483. We're opening up the phone lines so you can call in and have your mini gifted reading from our guest, Misty Rose Merck. Stay close. We'll be right back.
I'm getting older and noticing that my body just doesn't work as well as it used to. So I like to keep fit as possible by hitting the gym a few times a week. Recently, I started having a nagging bicep pain and it got so bad I couldn't even lift the weights. When I was complaining about it to a friend, he told me about angioprim. He said chelation helps remove toxins, heavy metals, and cholesterol in veins and arteries that may cause blockages. You know, after just 1 week of taking angioprim, the pain was gone and now I'm back in the gym full strength. Scientific research proves the active ingredient in angioprim has superior oral chelation action that helps promote cardiovascular health. So to learn more, go to angioprim.com. That's ANGIOPRIM.com or talk to a trained consultant. Call Angioprim toll free at 945-882-7221. You'll feel better with more energy. That's 945-882-7221. Or go to the website angioprim.com.
Folks, this is very important information. What's to be said about CBD? AncientLifeOil.com. Our CBD is made from hemp and has 0.003 THC, which means this wonderful product won't get you high, no matter what amount you take. What does CBD do for the body? My hands are tied. But you can Google CBD benefits and be astounded. When you're finished reading, you'll want to log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com and purchase. Life is good when you feel good. People are tired of pain. People are asking for non-GMO organic products to help them with, you fill in the blank. Legal in 49 states, and again, our CBD is made from hemp. Ancient Life Oil is about helping people one by one by one. If you wonder how good the product is, the CEO takes it every day without miss. AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Have a great day.
Permanent industrial glue impossible to remove? Not anymore, because Handyman Formula by D-Bond is a patented chemical adhesive remover. It's used in the building and home maintenance industry, but now it's available for your home use, for your DIY projects. Unglue stickers, silicone rubber, labels, price tags, flex tape, weather stripping, carpet glue, wood glue, liquid nails, even 3M 5200. And it dissolves graffiti. Yeah, graffiti. Handyman Formula by D-Bond works, and it's safe to use on most surfaces. No need to call a professional. Don't get out the pliers and blowtorch. Just apply a little Handyman Formula by D-Bond and wait 90 seconds, then quickly and easily pull the items apart. Get unstuck. Visit DBondHandymanFormula.com. That's DBondHandymanFormula.com or call 561-575-4200. Handyman Formula by D-Bond.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
Hello, welcome back to Soul Wanderings on KGRARadio.com. I am AJ Rasmussen, your host, and we are hanging out with our lovely Misty Rose Merck tonight. She's an intuitive reader who offers her time to us once a month doing gifted mini readings on air, and it's always a lot of fun.
I think so. I enjoy them.
I love afterwards when we're like, oh, and this and this and this happened, and that message was great, and this was wonderful, and we helped this person. And I say we because I'm hanging out here with you, but it's definitely all you. Definitely all you. So we said we were going to open up the phone lines right after the break. It's right after the first break. But for those of you who still want to get a call in, the number is 85KGRA Live. That's 855-472-5483. You want to make sure you call that number. Get in line. There are still opportunities for you for the next hour and a half while we wander together. We do have a caller on the line already. We're going to bring, I'm losing my words. We're going to bring them in. Hello, Lynn from Utah. Thank you for calling the show. You're on air with
Hi,
AJ and Misty tonight.
Hi, it's great to talk to you guys.
Hello. Do you have a question for Misty, or would you just like her to give you a reading with whatever she's picking up with your energy?
I would just like her to give me a reading for whatever she sees or feels.
Okay. All right, then. Give her just a moment. She's connecting to you now.
Hi, Lynn. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Thank you. So you have a bit of a busy mind. Can you do me a favor and just close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath? I'm just going to slow it down a little bit, okay?
Okay.
So, it's like you just had a lot of racing thoughts. You're a little bit of a worrier, yes?
Yes, of course.
Okay. It's funny though, because with you, I feel like you're a optimist living in a pessimistic costume. Like it's not like your innate nature's really uplifted and cheerful and happy and sees possibilities and opportunities, but it feels like, I don't know, it feels like that things have just been hard and there's just been a lot of struggle. And so now it's like, it just feels a little hard to feel the happy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And so it just feels like there's a large weight of stress on you at the moment. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, it would.
And so it's, so a large part of this is out of your hands, yes?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, this is a thing of the more you can step back and not try to control the outcome, because that's what the worry is trying to get you to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I can't hear you too well, honey.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. So did that make sense for you?
Yes. Step back.
Okay, so it's with things, a majority of things being out of your control, out of your hands, you're being invited. Excuse me. You're being invited to trust at this time.
Okay.
She has a little tickle. Give her just a minute. She's dealing with allergies at the moment.
Yeah, we had severe windstorm go through the area.
Are you good?
Yeah, and so I feel like you're being invited to trust at this time. I feel like the more you can step back and not stress, which feels very counterproductive considering things that are going on, the more that you can take a step back and be present and go with the flow, meaning you're going to get inspired to take some actions. Excuse me. You're going to be inspired to take some actions. And when you're in trust, you're going to be able to understand the answers that come to you, which makes it easier to take action on them. If you're going to be in worry, the answers will be like half an answer. They'll be unclear, and you're going to be in doubt. And so then you'll hesitate. Does this make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And the more you're in trust, you're going to be able to respond to the situations as they unfold. Now, that doesn't mean you aren't going to experience some emotional upset, because that feels like people getting triggered. It's really interesting. So basically, as you hold your energy, people around you are going to be getting frustrated, like they already are. But basically, it's kind of a thing where people try and draw you into the drama. Does that make sense?
Yeah, a little bit. I don't like drama, so.
Well, as things move forward and you're able to stay calm and be responsive instead of reactive, meaning you're listening to that inner voice that lets us know, to have a conversation or to not talk to that person, or that inner voice that's what we would say intuition, other people will say God. But as you listen to that inner voice and you trust that things will work out. Just stay in that. Things will work out, even as messy as something may look at the moment. As you trust that things will work out, you'll be in an energy and a place to get that inspired answer and know how to respond. And as you stay in that kind of flow of energy, there will be some emotional upheaval around you. And as you can maintain your energy, you'll move past these things so that it's not going to, I'm going to say it's one of those, it's not going to be it's not going to be pretty, but it'll be done. Sort of, it's like a cake that tastes great, but doesn't look so hot. It's gonna be good. It's gonna have some hard spots because it feels like your emotions are torn. Does this make sense?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so and this is where, when I'm working with people, I try to make it clear because I'm interpreting it. If I share something that doesn't seem to fit, don't make it. So just let me know where something isn't making sense or connecting for you. Because that just lets me know to reevaluate and see if I can perceive it in a different way. Does that make sense?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what isn't fitting for you? Is there something that isn't coming together, or?
Yeah, I don't really get involved in a lot of drama, I guess. And I do always like to be in control, so the trusting is really hard for me. And I do worry about everything.
Okay. And remember, drama isn't just people acting all nutty and everything. Drama is also can be heavy emotions. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm. I do have that.
Okay. And so it's with other people being involved in the situation, and they can have differing opinions from us. And when that happens, sometimes we can get into these emotional situations because they want us on the same page. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. That does make sense.
And so that's kind of what it is. It's an emotional sticking points. And where there's, in essence, I guess, let me see if I can simplify and bring clarity, is I feel there's a lot of, with your stress, it feels like a lot of it is emotional, like, and it's not going to be a easy answer, as in, it's not the answer that works best for you is not going to be what everybody wants to hear. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah, that makes sense.
And when that happens, the people that don't like the answer they're getting, they can be overly emotional. They can have big emotional responses. That's kind of what I mean by that drama. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, that does.
And understand, controlling behavior is simply a survival mechanism to try and prevent from getting hurt. So
Okay, I understand that.
we can't avoid pain. Pain is synonymous with life. We will experience it. However, suffering, like the Buddha or the Dalai Lama, suffering is unnecessary. And so the more guarded you become trying to control things, the less you're able to experience the way you desire. And I feel that you've been asking to have things in life a certain way. In order to have life that way, it requires putting those guards down, because it's the only way to receive what you really want. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it's just, you're being invited to live at the level of openness and vulnerability equal to what you're asking to have. That make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where trust comes in. You are trusting life, you're trusting the universe, you're trusting God to show up for you. But in order to see it, you got to put down the blindfold. That make sense?
Okay. Yes, it does.
So I'm going to tell you some things that I very clearly see about you. You have a strong gift of determination. Now think of the yin and yang symbol. When an energy is expressed, when this energy is in you that is expressed through faith, love, and trust, it's determination.
Mm-hmm.
You're very strong, strong-willed. Now, when that same energy passes through pain, fear, and doubt, you become very stubborn. That's when you get into controlling. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So all that is, that's not good, bad, or right or wrong. It's just a sign to you to let you know what energy you're standing in. When you're determined, you're standing in faith, love, and trust energy. When you're being stubborn, when you're being controlling, that's pain, fear, and doubt. Okay, well now you have an awareness. So you can pay attention. Am I being trusting? Am I being controlling? And then you can start asking some questions. Well, if I'm being controlling, I wonder what is motivating this. Then you can start finding the answers to what is triggering you to step into that energy and live from that place and create from that place. And then you just get to decide, does this work for me or doesn't it? Do I like it or do I not? If the answer is yes, I like it and I want more of it, well, guess what? You're finding the ingredients to create the recipe of what you want. If your answer is I don't like this, then you're finding the ingredients to the recipes you don't want in life. Now you're being able to see what works and what doesn't work and how to create it. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
The other thing is you have a very strong gift of discernment, meaning you know truth. You just know it. Does that make sense?
Yes, I do.
So
I know when people are not
that
telling
yin
the
and
truth.
yang, when you're in faith, love, and trust, your gift shows up as discernment. When you're in pain, fear, and doubt, it's judgment. So if you find yourself being judgy, oh, I wonder what's triggered that. Does this make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when you're in control energy, you tend to be more judgy. judging yourself, judging the circumstances, judging people, and it looks different ways. But do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so, anyway, kind of to pull things together, Lynn, you have a strong will, and you have the ability to discern how to move forward through these difficult experiences, this stress, and be able to do so in a way respecting yourself and those around you, because you get to respect that they don't like something, and you get to respect that they want to stay stuck, while respecting yourself and moving in the direction that you desire to go. Because another judgment is feeling bad for leaving somebody behind. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Anyway, is this helpful? Has this been helpful for you?
It's been very helpful. Thank you.
You have also, just to understand, there's a lot of angelic energy supporting you as you're moving forward, because in essence, whether it's prayer, if it's just thoughts you're saying and you're sending out to the universe, they are hearing you, and they're showing up to support you. You're not alone. You're not moving forward alone. You're very supported. So your strength isn't just relying on your own strength and your own inner gift of determination. You also have a support system supporting you energetically as well.
Okay, that's good. I feel that. I really do feel that.
Good.
Good. Thank you for calling into the show, Lynn. We appreciate your support.
Thank you.
Have a good night, dear. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Misty, that reading. Okay, so when I say that you can receive messages for yourself, even though they're for other people, that one, there's a few things that you shared in there that I'm definitely going to take note. There's no doubt about that. I really like that, though, because every reading I've ever heard you share, I've been able to take a little nugget from each and every one.
Thank you.
No, thank you. That was awesome. We have another caller on the line, but I'm having Bill check with her to see if she wants to wait until after break, because, I don't want to cut her off in the middle of a reading, especially when you have some extra things to share, because I know you like to give as much as you're getting.
I know I have no sense of time when I'm
It's
talking.
okay. If we have the time, that's what the show is all about, right? That's what it's all about. While we're waiting, I'm curious. Obviously, it's intuition. You're receiving messages intuitively, and I know of all the ways that you do it, but I'm wondering, you know what? We're going to do it now. So she's ready for it now. So we're just going to go ahead. I'll ask you that question later. We'll bring her on air. Hello, Sarah from Washington State. Thank you for calling the show.
Hi.
Thank you for calling in. Do you have a question for Misty tonight, or would you like her to give you a reading based off of your energy?
Yeah, maybe just based off of my energy, because I don't really have anything too specific. Maybe I guess I do, like as far as like what I should pursue, as far as like a career or a job or something of that sort.
Is it Sarah?
Yes, Sarah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Sarah, what I can do is I can tell you things that I see in you as far as strengths, and then I can see kind of where you are in your life now, where you want to take that. That's where you would take that content to look at the options of career and then decide how you want to move forward. Does this make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. So, you're a very fun, very warm, snuggly energy. You're just a tender-hearted love bug on steroids. You're cute. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The giggle gave
Yeah,
it away.
she's
The
very
giggle gave it away.
bubbly, very playful, very lighthearted, but you're very, very emotionally sensitive. Does this make sense?
Oh yeah.
So sometimes you use a little bit of the lightheartedness and humor to hide some of your emotional sensitivity and pain. Does that make sense?
Yes, definitely.
So you feel very nurturing. You feel like a caregiver. Like you just love helping people feel better. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Yep, I'm a massage therapist, so yeah.
Yeah. So you're already kind of standing in a field. Do you do energy work as well?
I do. But I'm
That's
kind of
so
like,
neat. You picked up on that.
Yeah,
yes,
well,
that is
she's
so
using her
cool.
hands, and you definitely, I don't know if you do Reiki, but that would be like an energy modality that you would really do great in because you focus a lot of energy through your hands. You are
Oh, that would
already
make sense.
innately like that. Massage therapy just increased that a gift and strengthened your ability to do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, one thing I am going to caution you with is to make sure before you work with a client that you're grounded, because I feel like besides people walking away feeling better after a massage, I feel like their health has improved. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So the caution is to make sure you're grounded, because what I feel happens because your energy's so open and connected when you're working with people that as you aid them in releasing things, if you're not grounded, you absorb some of what is released. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, for sure. I
And
had a
so
huge
it's
thing with
pay
that when I was
attention
listening.
when you're working with people, because if you've had a long day and you're tired but feel great, you're doing good. If you're tired and just wiped out and exhausted, or if you you haven't even worked that much and you're exhausted, things are off. Does this make sense?
Oh yeah. Mhm.
So making sure that before you step to the table, that you've become conscious to ground your energy, because otherwise I could see you getting pretty sick, like getting a cold or just an onset of something, just because your system is so taxed, and then taking on something on top of that from a client. Does this make sense?
Yeah, and it's so interesting because the reason why I'm asking about my career and stuff like that is because I don't want to do massage anymore because of that, because I feel like it was just way too taxing on me physically and mentally and spiritually. And even though there were a lot of times that I did ground and protect, it was just too strong for me sometimes because I'm so sensitive to that. Like, for example,
So it's a multifaceted thing, okay? So one is the grounding and protecting, but two is when you give, you're designed to receive the flow of energy. Now, it's not from the person you're working on, it's from source. Now, whatever that looks like for you, that's the universe, if that's God. You're designed to receive as it flows through you through the giving. So, one aspect is there's times when you're not grounded. Two, the other side, another portion of this is you're allowing them to receive, but you, as a conduit, you're cutting off what you receive. You're meant to be filled from source. because of the gifts that you have and how you're showing up and helping others. So if you moved professions, this situation would still follow you, because you still are limiting. You've put a very strong cap on what you allow yourself to receive, because you've got receive all wrapped up around earn and deserve. Does that make sense? And so if you're really cute. So you're a giver, and you give to your own detriment. Meaning, if somebody wanted to give in reciprocation, you struggle. It's like in your mind, you have to give 150% before you can receive 100%. Does this make sense? It's more like getting 75% when you give 150. Does this make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And so it's like you've always got to give more. And if you don't, you won't receive anything. If you give more, then you'll let yourself receive some. Does this make sense? And so it's, okay, you're mindful about grounding. And there's still places I would encourage you. It's not just grounding, stepping to the table. It's grounding yourself in your life. It's grounding yourself in your body. It's grounding yourself in your presence. You're really good about getting up into ethereal, spiritual, energetic things. But when it comes to being in your physical body, which is kind of ironic since you work on helping physical bodies, you have a hard time being in your physical body. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So it's not just grounding your energy. It's choosing to be in your body 100%. And the resistance is you're so sensitive that, like, kind of the false belief is it will hurt too much, because you can feel pain. You can feel pain in other people. Which is another reason why you're so effective, is because you know where their pain is. People who struggle to verbalize it, you know where it is. It's like you're massaging and they're like, oh yeah, you found the spot, right?
All the time.
And it's because of the gifts and abilities. Well, you're meant with that kind of gift of being able to perceive and interact and engage on a physical level this way. You're meant to be physically present. And that's where part of your ungrounding is not being physically present, by being engaged in your own body. And then that's also something that hinders your ability to receive, because being grounded in your body is a part of our capacity to receive. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's just like a whole big, it's a multifaceted picture. It's not one piece. There's many components to this. So it's I would suggest, before jumping ship to something else, find those things, find where, whatever it is that you can do in your self-care routine to create physical connection with your physical body, and create a desire to be present with it. Because the body isn't just a thing. It's not just an instrument. It is a living being. It's a living, it's not a being of itself, but it's a living entity, and a living home. And it has feelings. It feels sensations. And its desire is to give you life, to be here. Its desire, you're literally the god of the world that your body is. And it looks to you. It looks to you for everything, because you're its world. I know this sounds kind of weird, but and for me, because I've had a similar situation where I was really disconnected with my body. I have a very firm rule of only love is spoken here. It may be true that I want something different about my body, so I simply acknowledge, yes, I want change, and I love you. Yes, I want it to be different, and I love you. I follow it all up with and I catch the negative dialogue of I'm overweight and I have a pimple or whatever the things are, is looking at it of, yes, I want that to be different and I love you. Does this make sense?
Yeah, it does. Mm-hmm.
Because it's not an accident you ended up in the profession that you're in, because you're really good at it, because you have innate gifts and talents. You're a blessing. Wherever you go, you're going to end up doing some sort of work that has acts of service that are centered around helping people feel better. Now, having said that, wherever you go, you will take this with you because it's your experience. And wherever you go, there you are. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's not that you can't change professions, but it will move with you. The things you don't want will go with you until you resolve them or let them go. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
So deep breath.
Powerful.
Good job. If I could give you one tool that's going to help make the biggest impact, it is self-love. And it is the only love is spoken here. It doesn't mean you argue with the thoughts in your head or the emotions in your heart. You don't ever walk into a dark room and get rid of the darkness by screaming at it. You simply turn on the light. So all you're going to do is notice those don't wants, the negative thoughts, the hard emotions. You're just going to notice them and go, yeah, it's true. I don't want that. Or it's true, I want change, or I want things to be different. And I love you. And I love you. And you're having interactions with other people and you know, something didn't work for you. Yeah, don't villainize the experience. Don't villainize the people. See the humanity and go, and I love. And I love them. Does this make sense?
Yeah, I love that.
When we get you into a place where you love yourself, you are going to be absolutely off the top of the charts, you know, rocket to the moon. You're going to be somebody that everybody sends referrals for because you're that effective. If you're able to do what you're able to do right now under these strained conditions, this is the tip of the iceberg of what you can do. When you get into a place of a firm foundation of feeling loved and taken care of because you love yourself, a lot of the things that are going on are going to naturally dissipate because it's not going to be in alignment with that kind of energy.
Mm-hmm.
Is this making sense?
Yes, so much. I needed to hear all this so much. Thank you so much. Amazing.
You're so welcome. You have, I can't even put into words the amount of energy and love and light that I feel in you and around you, meaning you have a very powerful soul. You have an old soul, very wise. And that's part of how you're so effective at healing is because of that wisdom. You just know. You just know. And you couldn't even formulate it into a sentence. You just know. And then you have a lot of angels around you because you help a lot of people. And you will continue to help a lot of people. That's only going to grow. But getting you taken care of so that you can go to do that work, that's the necessity. That's the vital part. So
yes.
You start loving you. Byron Katie, she has this great quote, it's nobody else's job to love me but me. When we love ourselves, everybody else's love starts to become enough.
That's so good. Thank you for calling in, Sarah. We're sending you our very best.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good night, sweetheart.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Ta-da!
And there it is, another amazing reading from Misty Rose. We are going to take a break. And when we get back, the phone lines are still open if you're interested in receiving a reading for yourself. The number is 85KGRA Live. That's 855-472-5483. We'll be right back, you guys. Stay close.
Hi, folks. It's troubling times, and fear is pushing emotions, which in turn pushes health the wrong direction. Do you ever get an ache because life is uneasy? Try Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. Life Change Tea works on your digestive tract, helping to move food through quicker and comfortably so your health is spot on. Life Change Tea may not help with world issues, but it will help with your digestive issues. A glass a day helps keep the intruders away. So, change your life today. Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. If your health game is off, get on by ordering Life Change Tea. Getthetea.com. And while you're on our site, look around at the great non-GMO organic supplements. And if you're a sales shopper, go to our specials page and see what's for you. I've been drinking the tea for 12 years, and I'm sure glad for its health benefits. Again, that's getthetea.com. Getthetea.com. The tea that makes you go.
When you're in the house for longer periods of time, you can see them flying or running across the floor. Ooh, yuck. They're unhealthy, gross, and disgusting. Bugs. I loathe bugs. We keep a clean home, but occasionally bugs show up. Well, I found something that is tougher than bugs. Orange Guard. On contact, it kills hidden bugs, including ants, roaches, and fleas. Plus, Orange Guard is a residual repellent. All of the ingredients of Orange Guard are on the FDA generally recognized as safe list. Orange Guard may be used around food, humans, and pets. It comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Orange Guard. Available at orangeguard.com, Whole Foods, and Ace Hardware.
The Liberator Rocket Heater will heat your home for free. The highly efficient Liberator Rocket Heater has no moving parts. It's safe and strong, constructed of quarter-inch steel. So like all things made in the USA, it's built to last. Uses any kind of wood, sticks, even scrap in its gravity-fed firebox. And it heats workshops, homes, garages, outbuildings, industrial areas, and barns. Watch the video of this blast furnace stove in action. Visit RocketHeater.com. That's RocketHeater.com.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now. The Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Mainstream media's most wanted. KGRARadio.com.
You are listening to Soul Wanderings on KGRA Digital Broadcasting, Salt Lake City, Utah, and Hudson Valley, New York. Soul Wanderings can be found on all of the listening platforms like iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Spotify, TalkStream Live, YouTube, all of them. Just wherever you have a listening platform, look us up. You can also find my show archives on soulwanderings.com. So if you guys are enjoying the show, there's tons of links, tons or whatever. There's many links on my website where you can link to all the social pages as well. And I encourage you to share with your pals. The more the merrier. I just think it's so exciting when we get to share this time together and hear about other people and their experiences and their journey stories. That is what the show is all about. And it's just nice to know that we're not alone in this human experience. Tonight, we are hanging out with Misty Rose Merck. She's an intuitive reader who spends time with us here on the show once a month. She's also in my shop, Vibes, Mind, Body, Spirit, twice a month. So if you're local in the Ogden area, Misty will be sharing space with us again for our 4th birthday celebration, which is this Saturday. So if you are here local, Saturday, September 26th at 1:30, Misty will be spending time with us. And there's a $10 off discount if you pre-register before the day of. So take advantage of that. And for more information on this event and all of the others, be sure to visit vibesnow, VIBEZNOW.com. Hi, Misty.
Hello.
You stuck around.
I did.
That's good. Well, right now it's you and me hanging out. Phone lines are open and available. So if you are interested in a reading on air, our number to do so is 85KGRA Live. It's 855-472-5483. Until then, it's you and me, girl. And we're good at conversation.
Oh, yeah.
So
no, definitely. You know, it's funny from what we were talking about earlier, that, there's something I've been thinking about. And, there's a phrase, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. And it's like, even you pick any human being and they could think they're a terrible storyteller. But I'm telling you, every human being is a great storyteller.
Why would you say that?
Because our lives are woven of the stories we tell ourselves all the time.
True.
And
we're practiced.
Oh, we are very practiced.
Yes.
We're fabulous storytellers. We tell ourselves stories about who we are, what we can do, what we can't do, what other people are capable of. I mean, I'll ask people during group events and stuff, who thinks they're not a good storyteller. And I'll get some people raising their hands, and it's like, I can prove it to you. Think about when you're driving and you get that person who cuts you off. You can't even see their face. So you don't know if they're a man or a woman, if they're young, if they're old or whatever. But we make up real fast, in the time it takes them to get in our lane and start driving. We make up all kinds of stories about they're a jerk, they're rude, they're inconsiderate, they don't care about other people. I mean, we tell stories all the time. And the thing is that phrase, the tangled web, when we practice to deceive, the person we deceive the most is ourselves.
Isn't that the truth?
Because the reality is we believe like what we are capable of doing because we have experience that has produced results that as evidence. And then we'll say, well, I can't do this. And we look for evidence to prove these things are true. So when we start having false beliefs that I'm unlovable, we have to have evidence to reinforce this. So we start having experiences.
That's right. We attract.
Exactly. Well, that's part of how the law of attraction is unfolding is we've fixed our gaze on something. And then we've got to make it believable by providing evidence.
Do you believe that we are the creators of our own reality in every way, shape, and form?
There's a whole lot of books out there that talk about that very thing from many different authors.
Well, you brought up the law of attraction, and pretty much that is what it's about. The words you use, the actions you take, you will attract that type of energy into your life. Your reality is created by your own choices and thoughts.
Yeah. I'm just like super excited. Yeah. Well, it's hard when you're sitting in a chair to show your true enthusiasm.
Well, let's see you stand up and do a little dance.
Yeah.
No, it's not happening.
But
these chairs are so comfortable.
Yeah. It's just everything is energy. Okay.
Yes.
Einstein, Tesla, they say take everything to the smallest level, no matter how dense or large in appearance. To its smallest level is is energy in space.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so words are energy. It's a frequency that can be recorded by science. Our bodies are putting off energy. The way we stand and hold ourselves is energy. Our postures, our hairdo, the clothes we wear, all of this is a reflection of the energy we hold most often, the place we live at.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that we don't visit other places, visit other energies. We do that all the time, so you get this little bit of a bouncing effect. But it's within a range
Right.
that sits around home base. And then you can have other very unique experiences that can cause that to peak or drop,
Mm-hmm.
right? Severely or greatly, depending on the kinds of experiences we're having. But we hold an energy, and that energy has a scale, to positive and negative. And wherever we're at most consistently, that's where we're creating from. That's where we're living from. And that's why, whatever energy we're holding, that's determining how much of everything that we get. And if you make a shift, even a small shift, things start to drift away that don't consist or match that energy consistently.
Very true.
And then other things start to come to you. You make some dramatic changes, like you're sitting earlier talking about all the inner work you've done. That was consistent, dramatic changes over time, so that where you are now is nowhere near where you used to be.
Thank goodness.
And look at how drastically different what you create is.
And it's not even over the course of years. I mean, just over the course of a couple of months recently. We literally can change so much of our lives by changing the energy in it.
It can be a dramatic, life-changing event. So it doesn't have to be months or weeks. It can be instantaneously. We see people who have this happen all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's if we looked at everything as though it were energy, and that helps remove some of the judgments and personalizations of things. We looked at things in this kind of context and recognize, mind you, this isn't the end all be all. There are some other components to this in the creation process of our lives.
Of course.
But just kind of as a rule of thumb and I don't know, most consistent kind of thing, the energy that we're holding on a regular basis. And then there's the kind of think of a range. So if, let's say your energy were at a 500, just to give us something to focus on, the range that you would kind of create from could be 450 to 550, even though you consistently sit at 500, because it's a little bit of a buffer, so to speak. And so as we make shifts, you can see stuff like this. Go to a place where there's a large gathering, and you'll see the happiest person and the miserablest. And they might bounce around each other, but they never really come together.
Right.
Why? Because their energy is so far apart, they cannot connect unless one of them makes a shift. So either the miserable person decides, wow, I want that happiness,
Mm-hmm.
and they change, or the happy person, the miserable person attacks them and they drop to their level, that kind of thing.
It reminds me of two sides of a magnet, where you
Exactly.
can connect them really easily, but if you flip it,
You can chase that sucker around all
Right,
day and they don't
right.
connect.
yeah,
And so everybody, is talking about, well, we got to protect our energy. And if you can hold your energy in the face of other people, places, and things, that which is like your energy will stick around, and that which isn't will drift away, because it can only be there so long before it has to, like the magnets pushing,
Right.
repulsing, it pushes away. It's like that miserable person who leaves the party early because they can't stand the happy people,
mm-hmm. It's too much.
because it's uncomfortable.
Right.
And we are definitely creatures of comfort. So it's like if you hold your energy in the face of any form of negativity long enough, then that starts to drift away, because like attracts like. That which you like or is like you will come to you.
So we have a question in the chat room. How about the energy of money? Now, for me, money is just another form of energy.
Money is an inanimate object that reflects the energy of the user.
Oh.
It's just like, think of that phrase, money is the root of all evil. If you hold that thought, which is a frequency, it's a very low vibration.
Then money's always evil.
And your system doesn't, if you're a person who doesn't want evil, then you don't want money. So bringing you and money together is
love money.
Very difficult.
I do. I love
but
it.
Money's just a
form of energy.
It's
just
a
an
currency,
exchange, right?
That was designed by people, and who decided to pick, because at once upon a time, currency was beads, currency was cloth, currency was animals,
and I would like all of those things too.
Exactly.
Only because it allows me to have the things that I desire. I definitely am not a greedy person. Let's just make that clear.
But right there, what motivated the need to bring that kind of
for
clarity?
myself?
Yeah.
For myself,
But
to clarify for myself, why do I love money so much? I question myself. Why do you love it?
But why even do we have to question it? But, I mean,
I
these are
question
still
myself
just
often.
these
Yeah,
are
but
still
you're
just
right.
more questions.
You're right.
Right?
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, money is just another form of resource, like wood for building structures, like cloth for making clothes. It's a resource.
Exactly.
It reflects the emotions of the user, just like that phrase, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Not everybody sees beauty the same way or looks for beauty in the same places.
Right.
Or perceives it. I mean, it's a unique experience. And that's why, New Age, we start talking about things being mirrors. Everything at any moment is showing you the energy you're most consistently in by how you describe it. How many words in the English language can say something's beautiful? Innumerable, right?
So many.
So the words you use mean more about you than the thing you describe. Because why did you pick that word? It's a reflection of what's going on in your inner world.
Let's talk about that, mirrors. That is something that is said when, well, at least for me, I say it only because when I give someone a compliment or they give me a compliment, that's exactly how I look at it, is we are reflections of each other.
Mm-hmm. Now, we'll
What's
say
your take on that?
There's the New Age. One of the things I have this conversation with people who get into that philosophy of people are mirrors and things like that. When someone pays you a compliment, some of the New Age response is, it's you, honey. You're seeing you.
Ugh.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is true. I'm not going to negate
true.
that. But my thing is a compliment is someone trying to express their love. Please receive that first. Say thank you. And then go, it's in you too. But you got to receive it. Otherwise, all you did was hit that ball straight back home. And that person, the love wasn't received. The connection isn't made. They can't get that it's them. First, they've got to feel that you caught the love ball
right
before you throw it back.
That's the thing, though, is that's a lesson learned. It took me a long time to receive compliments. A really long time.
That's a big clue. So the way you receive compliments is a lower level receiving.
Mm-hmm.
And then you say you want big things like more money, the house, the whatever it is. How you struggle or how you receive compliments is a snapshot into how you receive.
Mm-hmm.
And if you struggle at the lower level of receiving a compliment, how much more
Everything
is the
else.
struggle for
Right.
the things you really want?
Exactly.
So I teach
and I learned
people
that.
exactly. Learn to receive a compliment, even if at this moment the best you can do is simply to hold your arms down at your sides. Because a lot of times, what do we do with our hands? It's like we're hitting a ball. We're throwing the compliment away, or we're throwing it back to the giver. So you just hold your arms straight and say thank you. Because a lot of times, a lot of people will go, oh, that's so sweet. And they do the poo-poo hands where they like flap their hands forward at you. You're slapping it down. So if you're not in a position to open your arms like you're being given a huge sack of money, at the very least, keep them at your sides.
Don't push it away.
Don't push it away.
Receive.
Yes.
That's a thing also. I think sometimes I still have a challenging time receiving, especially when it comes to help, because I've just been so accustomed to doing things on my own because I know that they will get done, and relying on other people based on my past experience has shown me that they're unreliable. And even though that's been my experience, I have worked diligently to change those thoughts in my head and allow the assistance when it's needed, when it's not unnecessarily
You're so cute.
needed. I know I get in my way a lot.
Can you see in just
yes,
that little
but it's
bit?
a process. It's a process, and I'm definitely in the middle of it.
Yes.
I
can
can admit that. I totally
in
can
the
admit
little
that.
bit that you said, can you see the story you created,
Yeah.
explaining all of your experiences and the people?
Well,
And
because
then-
I'm sharing the experience,
but-
but it's definitely not a story that plays in my head anymore.
No, what I mean is, but that's what we're doing when we
Right.
have experiences. We are creating stories about
It's true.
why and this, and then the story becomes, and so this is why I must do this, and this is why I behave this way.
Yes.
It's a very tangled story.
Well, and that's the way it works, too.
Exactly.
Conditioning to unweave it through your being is not an overnight process.
And it isn't.
It can take years. Even when you've done a lot of work, it still can sneak up on you when you feel that you have healed that part of you.
Yeah. But for me, and this is what I try to do for myself, and where I try to get people that I work with to at least be open to, is I try to view all of that, the story weaving and the reasons we tell the story. I try to stay in a neutral place if it's not good or bad or right or wrong. This was at any time that I've done this. This was me at that time in my life, at that age, having these experiences, doing the best that I could with what I had. How can I judge that?
Right.
That
How
was
can you?
me surviving at the level I understood and knew how to function from. And all of those times of me doing what it took to survive got me here. So how can I have anything but gratitude for all of that? Because how much sacrifice, how much giving up, going without, doing without, learning, experience, how much was all of that gained because I did the best I could with what I had?
Right.
And if I can view myself that way instead of from a judgment of hindsight is 20/20 and now I understand.
Exactly.
Hindsight is like a walking stick, and it's like life is, we're walking up a mountain trying to get to the top. Most human nature is to take the walking stick and beat ourselves up with it, keeping ourselves paralyzed and stuck on the side of the mountain. When in reality, it's designed to aid us, to help us learn, and be used as a walking stick so that we can get to the top of the mountain. That's what hindsight is. But oftentimes, instead of using it as a support tool, we use it as a beat-up tool. And so it's just going in and saying, you know what? Yes, I did that. I made those stories up about other people and myself, trying to make sense of things because I didn't know what I didn't know, and trying to protect myself. So I used whatever I could to survive. How can I have anything less than respect and gratitude for that? And so I anytime those memories or awarenesses come up, that is the tool I use. I go into that space and place of, you know what? Thank you for doing what it took to get me here, so that in hindsight, I can learn and get to the top of the mountain.
Yes. every time I hear you explain things, they're so crystal clear to me, like aha moments, one right after another. And it's exciting because I can see where I've been and how far I've come and how much further I need to go. Like, a gauge of sorts, which is, I think it's fun. I really have come to enjoy working on me and going through this process of falling in love with myself.
That's it right there.
Again.
It's falling
in love. A remembering of who I am and how much I loved myself when I first came in, like we came into this experience, like we were talking about before.
Mm-hmm.
I am so thankful for that, for this whole entire journey. Every time I look back, literally tears of gratitude of just the timeline and how it's all laid out. And like with any of us humans, we can always wish that it would have happened sooner because I'm at my halfway mark. Hopefully not quite halfway, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And you wish you could have learned it sooner so you could have this experience longer. But it is so neat, still the same, to have that experience, to be able to look back and see how far you've come. And wow, what an accomplishment. And so exciting. And how can you not love yourself for that? How can you not see the beauty and the magnificence you are as a human being, having gone through what you've gone through, and here you are today? It's just so incredible.
Yeah. Well, it's just if you were talking to your son when he was little,
mm-hmm.
how differently would and do you speak to him compared to how you've spoken to yourself when you've gone through that?
Oh, I speak to him like he is perfect, right? Because I see him perfectly.
And then speak to yourself that way.
And
yeah,
and I think that's that's a work in progress. I'm doing very well considering how I used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm saying. I love the journey. It's been so neat to learn who I am, what I love to do, the people I love to be around, the things that bring me joy. It's been so exciting to heal my body, just all of the things. It just so much gratitude, like I was saying. Like, how exciting is that? Speaking of how exciting, we have a call. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hello, Paul from Mexico. Welcome to the show.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Wonderful. So we have Misty here. Obviously, you're calling the show. Do you have a question for her specifically, or would you like her to just give you a reading based on your energy?
Well, let's just do a reading based on my energy.
Awesome. She's
I'm
connecting with your energy now, if you give her just a moment.
Hello, Paul.
How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. So, you're in Mexico or New Mexico?
I'm in Mexico. It's
okay.
called California Sur, or the Baja California, northern Mexico.
I'm originally from California. So you feel like a big teddy bear of a guy. So what that means is you just feel very, you feel like a very sweet-hearted guy, like a very tender-hearted, very caring person, deeply emotional. Does this make sense?
Yes, it does. I wouldn't classify myself that, but I've been told that.
Okay. Well, I mean, you feel very strong, like, so it feels like growing up being very emotionally sensitive and, being a guy, it meant, digging into your strength to deal with being so emotional. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And
I called it, I learned later in life to come into touch with I call it my feminine side.
Well, you're very, I'd say you've always been very caring. It just was something that wasn't as easily as expressed or embraced. Whereas now that's something that you're working towards. Yes?
Yes. I saw it as vulnerability. I do not like being vulnerable.
Yeah. And that was the digging into your strength to deal with that. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And so what I feel is part of what's brought you to the place of being willing to embrace being vulnerable is some emotional challenges or losses. So I feel like you struggle to express yourself. Would that be accurate?
I would say I used to struggle a lot. I work on that because I find it helps me to be more vocal with my real feelings.
Okay. Yeah. So it's with that struggle to be able to be real and verbalize it. This is where I would invite you to, I think the verbal disconnect or the block to being able to verbalize is the emotions are so big or you're feeling them so intensely. So then it makes it hard to verbally describe it. Does this make sense?
Yeah, there's no words. You can't put it in words.
Well, yes.
I couldn't.
mean,
I still
words
struggle
are
with putting it into words.
Say that one more time.
I still struggle with putting the words to the feelings because the feelings are so large. They're so intense because I see myself as I kind of excuse some of my behaviors that I'm very passionate, and that comes across sometimes as intimidating or anger.
Overbearing.
When in fact it is not overbearing. Yeah.
No, that's what I mean. Is that's how it comes across.
Yes, and it does, and I know that. I have children that tell me, "Geez, Dad, why are you mad?" I'm not mad.
So I just chuckle because we deal with that in my home with my husband. So it's just I would have you. It's just because it's not. It just wasn't. It wasn't something you practiced a lot in growing up in life. And it's a tool that you haven't quite learned to use yet. Verbalizing your emotions.
Yeah, it sucks. It's taken me this long. I missed a lot.
Well, you know what? It's better than never at all. I'm way better than never at all.
100%,
but it's just
100%.
It's just needing some practice in a non-triggering or confrontational environment. Meaning being able to sit and label your emotions, like put words to them, when you're not under the stress of engaging in a relationship. So there's an exercise that I teach people. It's called a burn and dump. And what you do is a dump and burn. So what it is, it's a journaling exercise. It's a writing because you've struggled with being able to put labels to emotions, to define them. So you sit with a timer, and a timer is important because sometimes when we're diving into emotions, we can dig up some muck, and we want to be able to do that without getting stuck in the muck. And that's what the timer helps with.
Right.
Because humans, if we spend a lot of time on things, we tend to ruminate, and you don't want to ruminate in muck. Does this make sense?
Yes, it does. Rumination is one of my favorite words. I have it in my mantra.
So we set the timer for 10 to 15 minutes because that's enough to kind of spend some time on something without getting into ruminating. And you just pick something. It could be an experience. It could be a memory. It could just be how you're feeling at any moment. And you set the timer, and then you just write. You don't correct, you don't edit, because that's a mental thing, and what you're wanting to do is engage with your heart. So you don't correct it, you don't worry about spelling, that kind of stuff. You just write. The whole idea is to simply write until the timer goes off. Now, the reason why it's called a dump and burn is if the majority of what you're writing is a lot of gunk, emotional garbage or baggage or however you want to define that. This is something that you've just gotten off your chest, so to speak. You don't want to put it back there. And so that's where the burn. So basically you want to destroy it. So what that looks like is if a little bit of emotion comes up while you're writing, you can rip, tear, shred the paper. That's fine. It's effective to the psyche. It sees it as complete or finished, ended. If big emotions come up, that's where I would suggest burning it in a safe way, because burning things in a fire, it has an impact on the psyche. And that's why so many different civilizations, cultures, and religions have burning ceremonies. Is this making sense?
Yes, it does.
So what this activity will help you to do is be able to start defining your emotions, because we all experience things like anger and sadness and frustration, but how we experience it and what it looks like for us, that's the unique expression that we are having as opposed to the human population. So it's just an activity. So if you feel 50%, I would say if 40% or more of your document that you write is emotionally triggering negative-based stuff, that's something you're going to want to destroy. If you're writing and most of it's positive or, bittersweet or whatever, that's something you can save if you want to. If you don't, you can still, get rid of the document. But it's going to give you the ability to focus on, address, and express the emotions that you're wanting to be able to have that verbalization with people. And right now, you're tongue-tied because you don't know how to define it yourself. So how can you explain it to someone else? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Now, the other thing is if you do a dump and burn and it ends up being negative-based content, I would highly suggest keeping a gratitude journal and just writing it for at least 5 minutes just to shift your energy to a positive, so you end on a positive. Does this make sense?
Yeah, I think I've kind of advanced to that. I do. I think I've advanced to where I've kind of done over the years dump and burn. It's maybe not sat down in that, absolute form and done it that way, but I think I've kind of at least started that. I think I probably will continue that. It helps a lot.
Well, I would definitely suggest, doing that regularly, if not like at least weekly, because what that is it's just giving you the skills to be able to have that verbal self-expression, because you're very intellectual. You're a thinker, and you're also very insightful. You're very, what do they call that? Introspective.
I've got a word
you're
for
very
it,
introspective.
but I won't use it.
Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And so,
no,
with
I,
that
like I
ability,
said, I work on the positive thing. You mentioned something about the statements of positivity. When I wake up in the morning, I have a some people would call it a mantra, some would call it a prayer, and I say it out loud, and I do it every day. I add a little to it, and it has helped me immensely.
Good.
It puts things for me. It helps me puts it in perspective.
Yeah. And that's that ability to, between your insights and your introspection, it helps you see beyond the surface of things in life and see past a lot of the facades that people portray. Like, you're really able to hone in and pinpoint somebody, something that on the surface may not be obvious about them, but you're able to pick that out. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And so all of that is a culmination. What kind of brings that together, that ability for you, is being emotionally sensitive, being introspective, and being a thinker. It gives you the ability to read people, so to speak. Like, you can pick a person who's lying. You can tell, you can see it. You can see somebody who they're being truthful, or you see people who, you just see people, you see them for who they really are. Now, what we're going to do here is just give you the ability to be able to see yourself in a way that you're able to verbalize it. And then in your awareness, be able to make the shifts you're desiring so that those connections can happen, so that you're not coming across as overbearing, but rather deeply caring. Does this make sense?
Yes, it does.
Because the thing is you don't lack in caring, you're just lacking in the ability to communicate it.
That makes total sense.
So it's just trying to bring a couple things together to clear the picture up, so to speak. Because what becomes off-putting is your own frustration of not being able to communicate what you really mean. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I laugh about that. Yes, it does.
And so when you're able to clear up your own self-dialogue, so to speak, meaning being able to define your emotions and stuff, when you can clear that up for yourself, then communication with others becomes easier. And then people are able to interpret your energy easier. I'm also going to say sometimes you're in resistance to how you feel or how overwhelmed you feel by what you're feeling. Does this make sense?
Yeah, it does. I smile at that one.
And so it's just, it's good that you're passionate and care, and we want people to be able to see it for what it is rather than the other stuff.
Yep.
Is this helpful?
Yes, it is. Very much so.
Okay.
I guess the journey is finding that good, warm, peaceful place in this journey. That's kind of my thing. So.
Well, it's just understanding your own emotions clearly allows you to be able to feel them without feeling overwhelmed by them. And when you're not feeling overwhelmed, you're going to stop coming across as overwhelming. Does that make sense?
I like that. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, no, thank you very much. A lot of good insight.
Thank you for calling into the show, Paul. We appreciate the support.
No, I enjoy your show. I listen to it every couple of weeks for sure. It's a beautiful show. You guys do a great job.
Thank you. We appreciate the support. Couldn't do it without you. Have a great night.
All right. Okay, good night.
Bye. There you go again. How does it feel? How does it feel to be able to assist others in seeing all the beauty that they have inside of them, all the magic that they possess?
So I have lots of philosophies. I have lots of philosophies. They're what get me through my days, and they're what brighten up my life. And I have a philosophy. I feel that everybody is a unique expression, a unique portion of God expressed as them. And the more people I engage with, the more I know God. And I also feel like, when I engage with people, I feel like, and I know we've discussed this, I've said, I feel like I'm the one being blessed. I feel like I'm the one being privileged, because whatever's going on in my own life drifts away, and all there is the perfection of the person in front of me. It's like, for a moment, everything that they think they are is pushed aside, and it's like God goes, this is the soul. This is the magic right here. And not only do I get to, get some messages for people or help them or whatever, but I get to feel, I feel love and joy and pride and gratitude for this person. It's like the energy that's of God and angels and however we would describe these things, what they feel for you. I get to feel all of that. I mean, it's like heaven on earth. It's like getting the reality of whatever's going on in the world drifts away, and all there is heaven on earth. It's a moment in time of being in the presence of God's love and joy and even sorrow, tears. I can feel tears wept for that person because of their suffering, because of their sorrow, their grief, their pain. I can feel that, but it's a beautiful thing that feels joyous to be able to feel love felt to the point that weeping happens because they're so cared about. And I have never met one person that's not felt for them. It's an intense experience what is felt on the behalf of each individual. If you could just for a second connect and feel it and know that that's what's being felt for you, I swear it feels like you could manage anything in life, because it wouldn't compare. It couldn't hold a candle to the truth of love for you, and it would empower you and encourage and strengthen you so that you could weather anything, bear anything. And it's like I feel like I never quite do the job right because I can't give that to them. I feel like I'm shortchanging because I get to experience that and I can't give it to you. But that's what I want. You don't
feel like they can't feel that on some level.
I see responses and I see, sometimes people cry or people just light up and stuff, and I can't. It feels like what I give just doesn't feel like it compares. But that's what I want, is I want them to have that. I literally want you to have an experience. If it can be done through me, I want you to have an experience so that you can never go back to that little self-perception and way of being, that you can only move forward with at least this bare minimum of confidence and strength and love, and go into the world and be that much brighter, that much greater at whatever it is that you want to show up as. It's hard to put into words. That pales in comparison to what I feel.
Oh, but I'm sure. I'm sure about that. No doubt. Yeah. But in all honesty, Misty, I've seen you do this work for some time now and have witnessed many people feel all sorts of emotions. And there is no doubt in my mind or heart that they are not having that experience. Different levels, but you are definitely sharing that experience with them. Thank you for doing so.
You're welcome.
Thanks for spending time here with us again. It's been so good. Before we go, though, make sure everyone knows what your website is if they have any questions or would like to book a reading with you, because she does offer readings via Skype and other.
I work over the phone through Zoom and in person. And my website is mistyroseshealing.com. And my email is mistyroseshealing@gmail.com.
And it's Misty with a Y, M-I-S-T-Y.
M-I-S-T-Y, yes.
Wonderful. Thank you again. I love it when you're here. Guys, she will be back with us next month. So
it's never long enough.
Make sure you're following Soul Wanderings on all the social media platforms, and you'll know when she's here, and you can be the next caller for a gifted mini reading. For more information on the show, go to soulwanderings.com as well as kgraradio.com. We completely appreciate all of the support we get at the station and here on the show. We wouldn't be here without you guys. And I have the best wanderers. There's no doubt about that. Not only do I have the best wanderers, I have an amazing production team, Bill and Eric. Really, you guys are the best. Thank you. And thank you, Misty, and your husband, Kevin. He's here. No one can hear him, but he's here. We have so much support. I hope you guys all have a beautiful evening, and we will see you next week. Hear you next week. You'll hear us next week. We'll be here next week. I hope you will be too. Good night.